What's up everybody, Nonpon here, and in this video I'm gonna cover if Kaguya is still worth your pools or not. Kaguya was the first limited character in Snowbreak Containment Zone, and she's received a lot of noticeable buffs through these past few months. She's barely even the same character that she used to be, but are these buffs good enough to hold up? As you may know, her banner is up right now, and she is a hot topic because many players did not get a chance to pull for her. But should you still pull for her? Let me go ahead and cover what's been changed through these past few months, and I'll give you my final thoughts on if you should pull. So Kaguya here, one of her few buffs that she's received over these past few months is to her Moon Halo. Moon Halo is a suck ability where it will pull enemies together. Originally, any ability like that, such as like Nita's standard skill, did not consider itself a control effect. There is a niche situation where if you're using 4-star Maxer, which you know I do, any control effect that's inflicted onto the enemy will spawn a blue Mind Blast orb. These orbs can be damaged to inflict even more damage to targets. Kaguya originally did not inflict a control effect with her support skill. You would just throw it out, it would get sucked up like a vacuum cleaner, and nothing would happen besides the debuff. Now, she can suck things up, it will spawn orbs, and those orbs will constantly be taking damage over and over and over again. I think that 4-star Maxer is a really good partner for her, but also I covered this character enough as is. So back onto Kaguya here, another buff she received was on her standard skill, Hover. I almost called it Halo. Hover. So originally, when you would use her standard skill, she would throw a knife around her, okay? And then that knife would stay around for around 10 seconds or so, okay? If you switched off of Kaguya, off screen, those daggers would go away. They would not stay on the screen. Now you can switch to Kaguya, throw out the dagger, and switch to your main DPS, and it's still on screen. The reason why that's pretty important is because those daggers will decrease movement speed. Movement speed is very important for Kaguya because of her duo's alignment. Her duo's alignment will increase damage to any target that is inflicted with movement speed reduction. And this can increase up to 10% and then up to another 1% for every 100 alignment index she gets, which is very powerful. So now, not only can you use her standard skill to inflict movement speed debuffs, you'll get more damage, and then you can inflict Moon Halo to get even more resistance shred. So it's very useful. On top of that, Kaguya isn't the only thing that's changed. Her weapon has changed a lot as well. Pine Aurora was kind of a joke of a weapon before, but it is pretty substantial in what it does. So let me go ahead and read off its parameters here. So first, it increases frost damage by 15%. Okay, this is new right here. When off-field, increases deployed operatives' frost damage by 9%. This is a huge buff to main DPS characters like Life Wild Hunt. This text was not originally on the weapon, so just by having this weapon now, if you're using a ice main DPS, they will receive a buff. Each time the support skill hits an enemy, increase full squad damage by 6%. And this lasts for 5 seconds. The duration will refresh if stacked, max 5 stacks. So basically, mine is tier 2, so it can go up to 30%. However, before, it only went up to 25%. This originally was not 6%, it was 5%. So that means that it has received even more of a damage increase. Originally, if you had a prismatic igniter, which let me pull up right here, this gun right here, actually, if you had it at tier 5, it was more powerful than Pine Aurora. That's how weak of a weapon it was. However, now, Pine Aurora seems like it's a very solid weapon, if anything, just to buff up any kind of future ice DPS we might get, because that off-field buff of increasing ice damage by 9%, I'm not sure what the tier 1 is, I can go back and check, it's really good. That's a really nice bonus. So the weapon got a buff, Kaguya got a buff. Should you pull for this character? In my opinion, when she first came out, I pulled multiple copies of her because we didn't have any other options for support, right? Right now, if you are gonna pull for Kaguya, I would definitely pull for her, but not go overboard. I would definitely commit to just getting one copy and farming it up because she is one of the first characters we've ever had, and we don't know how power creep will affect the future. Right now, we have her and we have Maxer as our godlike supports in this game. And as of right now, we only really can fit one support on each team. Maybe that can change in the future. At least that's how I feel. There's usually like one support, one utility, and one DPS. I'm not sure how the meta is going to change. I don't even care about the meta. But I wouldn't go too hard on her. I would definitely pull a copy just to be safe. Don't go full on manifestations. For her weapon, in my opinion, still okay to skip if you don't want to pull for it. However, it is definitely miles better than what it once was. While I still don't think it's worth your pulls, if you do have the leftover pulls for it, definitely go for it. It's still pretty solid. It's completely up to you, but regardless, it will buff up any kind of future ice DPS we have. It's very hard to sell this weapon when we don't know what's coming out in the future, but if you want to plan for the future, any copy of this can help whatever frost DPS we get. So that's gonna do it for this video. You should definitely pull at least one copy for her just to have her on your roster, because I believe that she brings a variety of defense shred utility and other buffs that are very useful for your teammates. I don't really know how long that would be relevant for, considering how we get new characters every 2 months or so, but we'll have to see and find out. But regardless, I still think she's worth it. She's pretty cool, and I like her personality a lot. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Hopefully she's worth your pulls. Hopefully you get her on your 50-50. Good luck, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.